Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 75 of Direwolf20's Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode series. I noticed something interesting. Look at my hunger bar. I don't know why that's happening. This literally started happening in the last episode or two, and I don't know why. I tried taking all my stuff out of my inventory. And put it in a chest. So literally took off all my baubles, all my armor, all my stuff. No idea why, but my saturation keeps dropping. And I'm like, I basically have to eat all the time, even if I'm not walking around at all. So like normally in Minecraft, if you just stand still, your saturation shouldn't move. And for some reason, for me, it's dropping as of the last episode or two. I don't know what it's about, but I'm trying to resolve it. So what I'm going to do is see how much trouble I could get into with an environmental modifier. This is a nifty gadget. Curtis, it's one that I rarely use too. Like I don't know the last time I messed with this thing was. I'm just gonna plop it somewhere that has power. All right, like right there should be fine. Right, so your radius can be 50 blocks. Your height can be 30 to 70. I think that's the Y level. Players in the lift red zone ignore mode, some modules. This thing basically can apply buffs to your player in a radius. As long as your player is within the range of effect, right? And the bigger the radius, the more RF a tick it uses, right? Based on which things are in there, right? And you can see what those modules give you. So I'm going to go with like the saturation one. So I just need a syringe with zombie in it. So what I need to do is go find a zombie syringe, right? So I'm going to need one of you, right? And then saturation, if I want a better saturation, right? We'll see what this one gets me. And if I need more, I can get that one. And that's just, you know, 2 more zombie syringes around the existing one. But the existing one's like really easy to craft. I just need a zombie syringe. So let's go somewhere with zombies. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. Where might zombies live? Really far away from our base, remember? So what I'm going to do is make it nighttime and go get a zombie syringe. So remember, like, we've got a really large area of effect going on here. Oh my goodness, I love it. Flight. Hello, bad guys. I mean, there's creepers down there, but... Hey. I'm trying to get the zombie syringe here, dudes. Yes, creepers, keep blowing up. Now we got a pattern going. Huzzah! Essence level 100. Adios, guys. Alright, so saturation, boom. Okay, and then you go in here, and that should whoa, who needs saturation too? That's better. That's good. That's really good. Alright. Are you going to show me how much RF a tick you're using? Or am I just supposed to guess? Active 322 RF a tick. Radius 50 between Y level 30 and 70. So I could probably shrink that up a bit, because what's my level? So let's make it like Y level 50 and 70. Does that sound fair? So that's more RF a tick? Did we just... Wait. Do what now? There we go. 164 RF a tick. That makes more sense. And that's not a lot of RF by any stretch of the imagination, right? So like, what if we bumped this radius up to 100? So it's a radius of 100 blocks, right? So in 100 blocks around this thing, right? So from here, right? So X plus and minus 100, Z 220 to 420, right? And that's where you're getting saturation at. Maybe I'll stick with 50 for now, just to keep the shenanigans not too bad, and then we'll flip it back to 100 as needed. How's that? Okay, so that's cool. Good enough for me. Hey, guess who doesn't have to eat no more? Haha, Direwolf. Only when he's in his base. But still, that's cool. Today's episode, good question. What are we doing today? I don't know. What should we do today? Nuclear craft? That could be a thing. Was there an extra utilities quest to get an angel ring? There was probably at some point. There's a lot of quests for extra utilities. I just never checked this box. Ding, 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 ding. Oh boy, I forgot that bug is still there. I may not bother with all this. But yeah, look, we got some things. Quest complete, extra utilities. Quest complete, lots of other things. Hey, Southern style breakfast. Remember what I said about not needing to eat anymore? Yeah, thanks for the breakfast food. So yeah, we did obviously some of this stuff because I know my way around extra utilities pretty well at this point. You know, basically looks like he wants us to make all the generators, a couple of the machines, spikes and all that stuff, and angel block and that cool things. Angel ring was on our to-do list. We needed to get a cursed lasso for it because that's usually what an angel ring requires, but the custom recipe in this pack does not require that. So that's what's up, right? GP generation 2, nice. So I'm definitely thinking, oh, am I above Y level 70 now? Oh yeah, look at that. All right, maybe I should bump it up to Y level 80. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Like, we're in the area of effect. We're going to get saturation. We leave the area of effect. Our hunger is going to go down, but as soon as we teleport home, like, boom, we're getting all the things, right? So what I'm thinking, nuclear craft? Because we should really, to be fair, we're not bad on power. By any stretch. Like, we are not hurting for power at this point. If we were, I would have done something about it sooner, right? But if I turn this guy on, actually, no, never mind, because he's pretty much done, isn't he? Look at that. All right, cool. So you're all kinds of done, aren't you? All right, well, still, if I run another digital miner at some point, or like, you know, more things that we're about to get into, because we have access to Draconic now, but like, Draconic's nice, right? Don't get me wrong. The only problem with Draconic is it needs lots of power. So we should probably start planning for that. So nuclear craft, you say? Console command hidden. Ooh, what's that? All about generating massive amounts of power through nuclear fission and fusion. Hey, who wants to make me a nuclear fusion reactor building? Eh? Eh? What do you say? Anybody? Bueller? The trickiest part of this mod is without a doubt figuring out how to get the various nuclear fuels and isotopes. JEI does show how to obtain it all, but there are often several steps. It leads to Draconic Evolution and the end game, right? So let's claim this command, right? I've begun nuclear craft. So I don't know what that command did, but nuclear craft is now, wow, all kinds open to me. So there's a bunch of things that we've obviously already been messing with, right? Like, we already made basic plating, right? Which eventually will get me into these things. There's lots of quests here that are complete that I'm not going to go through and complete. Oh, I mean, I'll claim you. Because of the whole questing bug thing that I'm running into. But hopefully that gets fixed soon. And obviously there's lots of other machines here that are going to be involved in making stuff. So what's the goal of nuclear craft? I'm guessing it's fusion, right? The fusion reactor is like the best thing from nuclear craft, right? Because I'd like to power through all the nuclear craft processes and get to the point where I can make a fusion reactor, right? Supercooler and electrolyzer, neutron, fluid, fusion core. There we go. So it looks like, yeah. So we have to get to these different platings, right? And then fusion and is where we want to get to, right? And once we get to fusion, that's when you can start generating stupid amounts of power. So let me read through a little bit, because I don't know nuclear craft all that well, and then we'll be back. So you know what I decided, guys? I decided I want to get into flux networks before I get into nuclear craft. And the reason for that is the nuclear reactors are going to be generating lots of power. And we're going to be transferring power all around. And we need to update our dire wire throughout the base. Now might be as good a time as any to do that. So if I got into flux networks, right, follow me on this, we would have flux points and flux plugs and quantum floor storage and all that good stuff. Now the trick with flux networks, right, as we remember from the past, is you can take a flux core and turn it into 4 more flux cores. That's cool, right? But you got to get your first flux core from somewhere, and that comes from an extremely expensive recipe. You have to sag mill a dimensional transceiver, okay? And you'll get 32 flux cores, right? And then from there, we can do this, right? So I might, I've come up with ideas on how to automate this, by the way, and that should work, I think. but we'll have to figure it out. So dimensional transceivers require getting into a lot of things, specifically Ender IO. And here's the problem, right? We need quantum entangloper. We should be able to get now because we just got an Ice Dragon Heart last episode, right? So that's cool, right? The problem will be this, right? This I can get, this I can get, this I can get, this. I'm not sure what I can do. So it's combination crafting from here, and we need. So I might be able to make this machine. Now, how much RF does this need? Because it's a charged draconium block, right? So we have draconium. Can we get charged draconium blocks, right? And pedestals, and I'm not entirely sure how crafting core works, right? The forge energy picture specified in the crafting core recipes is the maximum allowed input. Any amount of forge energy per tick will work. Okay, that didn't really give me all the information I was hoping for. But that looks doable, courtesy of either the advanced carpenter or regular carpenter with liquefacted coal in it. And these guys need black iron ingots and black iron blah blah blahs, which all seem to be induction smelters of tough alloy or graphite and invar. So I think this is doable. So can we try and do this first? I'm going to see if I can get the... So here's my plan, right? Let's do this. Let's see if we can get the charged draconium block. If yes, then I know that through Ender IO, I should be able to get all the other blocks I need. So then we'll start down the Ender IO path, we'll get the machines we need, we'll get flux networks, and then we'll get into nuclear craft. Because right now I have more of a problem around transferring power throughout my base and less of a problem with power generation, right? So if we get flux networks, that means we can rewire our base using flux networks, and that would be super cool. And I think that's the plan, right? So let's look into what's involved in getting these crafting cores and pedestals. Cool? So we need some liquefacted coal for sure, and we need a carpenter. That's not already in use, right? So these guys are all carpenters that are made, right? I wouldn't mind like a manual carpenter, right? That just hey, your job is to manually make carpentering things, right? Like this recipe, right? Like we're not going to need to automate these things, but it'll be nice to have a carpenter for when we do. Cool? Oh, I just found the number. Does that mean I need 2 billion RF? So it says 10 million forge energy per tick is the limit. That's not what you need, that's the limit, right? And is that 2 billion? 100,000 million billion? Billion RF to make that thing? Okay. I mean, it's doable. It would just take a while. All right, so I'm like running around in my head, like, how do I want to do this, right? We need a huge amount of power to create a thing to allow us to transfer power easily, which I wanted to make before I started producing a huge amount of power. So what I think I'm going to do is make an induction cell from Mechanism, which is a nice multi-block way of storing lots and lots of power. Then we'll let our existing power gen fill it up with lots and lots and lots of power. Then we can use that to get what I need. So there's several tiers of induction cells that can go into the multi-block, and like the second tier is 3.2 billion, which is more than we need, right? We need 2 billion, right? So if I put one induction cell tier 2 in there, we should be cool, right? So let's see if I did the thing correctly here. So we're gonna want some induction casings. Can I get like 20 of you? Does that sound fair? It looks like it'll work. Just want to make sure that everything's good with the whole energy tablet thing, because that's one of those examples of NBT data can be funny, right? And when NBT data is funny, and bad things happen, right? But it looks like it's working, right? So yay. Induction cell's good. Can I get an induction port, please? Yes. And while you're at it, can you make an advanced induction cell? That's a lot of processing, and you need some lithium dust? What do you need lithium dust for? What do you need lithium dust for? Because I've made one of those. Well, I thought I made one of those before. Lithium dust? Ah, for the basic induction cells. Okay, really? That's it? Just lithium dust? Just lithium from IC2. That's the only... There's no ore dictionary equivalent to that. There's lithium ore from nuclear craft. Do we have any lithium ore in a crusher? We have some lithium ore. We do. And we have some lithium ingots, too. Can you be fancified? Yeah, you can. Purify. There should be 2 stacks of this stuff. And that means you're cooking, and that means you're cooking, and that means you're cooking, and that means you're gonna get me some lithium dust. Nice. Am I correct then that lithium can go into the crusher for lithium dust? I should teach that. Lithium dust is a crusher recipe of lithium ingots. Boom. And that can go over here with this guy. Or maybe up here with this guy. So many crusher recipes, holy cow. But hey, good times, because that means now we can do mechanism. Can you get me an advanced induction cell? It looks like you can. Nice. All right, and then you also finished your other thing. Nice. All right, so then the only other thing we need for induction then is some kind of provider. And the provider determines how much RF per tick can output. So it's a multi-block structure. You make it out of induction casings. You put ports on the outside for inputting and outputting power. And then on the inside, you can put any one of the 4 types of cells, right? And basically each cell that you put in there determines how much. So if you put 2 basic cells, it's 800 million RF it can hold, right? If you put 1 advanced, it's 3.2. If you put 2 advanced, it's 6.4. If you put 3 advanced, it's 9.6. You get the point, right? All the way up to elite and ultimate, right? Which ultimates can hold 200 billion, right? So if you put 5 ultimates in there, you can hold 1 trillion RF. Cool? And then induction providers determine the output rate, right? So right now, most of our base is wired around being able to transfer 25,000 RF a tick, right? But let's go for the second tier. So I'm just going to teach this recipe real quick. Back in this mode. So can you be cool, but I want you to be advanced. These guys, please. Make the thing, make the thing. There you are. And I'm going to hold on to you because I know that you're just going to be dumb. You need basic circuits. And you already know how to make basic energy cubes because I taught it that a minute ago. Right? So that should be cool. So now, right? So did you make me what I wanted, or are you still making what I wanted? Basic energy cube scheduled 5, right? So that might be one of those goofy tablet recipes that's being funky. So let's cancel you. And basic energy cube. Let me fix this recipe because he needs energy tablets and he also needs energy tablets. So I want to fix these. Okay, remember the trick is to clear it out and then grab one that you have, and then you know that the NBT data is going to be right on it, right? So I just did that, which means we can come down here and place these guys back. So can you give me an advanced induction coil? You look like you're working. You stored the 5 basic energy cubes, so that's a good sign. Advanced induction cell, basic induction cell, advanced energy cube. You're stuck on advanced energy cube. I did fix you, didn't I? Advanced energy cube. So this, and this. Let's just make sure that there's nothing dumb in here, right? So you and you, and you and you. Go. Right? Oh, you do actually have these guys. Okay, there's your problem. That's what I get for lying on the shift click. Yeah, because JEI cycles through all the different variants of those items sometimes, and if you shift click at the wrong time, which when there's a lot of variants, that's very easy to do, things break. So induction cell, cancel. Why you all of a sudden want to do that? Induction provider, induction cell. Yeah, no, you should be pretty good. Why do you all of a sudden want to craft new things? Basic energy cubes. Hold on. Somebody's being... Maybe the basic energy cube has the wrong thing in it as well. So let's put you here, and you. Just got to get the stuff right. Basic energy cube. We're going to steal you out of here. So that you're good. Steal you out of here so that you're good. And you know what? I'm going to get the advanced energy cube crafted so I can fix this other recipe. Does that sound smart? I think that sounds smart. So can I make you? And then you should be good to craft. Nice. All right, cool. So now I'm going to put this in here. Right? We'll clear this out. We'll put this in. And then now you should be good. So you're just a little bit of manual messing around with things. And while I'm at it, let's fix the induction providers, because 10 to 1 says that they're wrong as well, right? Because you need a basic. And since I have it, you need an advanced. Right? And we know that that should fix things for us. So if you guys run into that, now you know how to fix it, right? So can you make me an induction cell? That should be a very easy craft at this point. Right? Like, moments. Stored, 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 stored. Advanced induction cell. Why advanced induction cell? Don't you want to work? Let's try one more thing. So advanced induction cell. Right? So you need energy tablets. You need basic induction core cells, which might have an MBT value, so I don't know. And then you need the advanced cube, right? Yeah, anytime you go to craft something and it gets stuck like that, the general rule is just, you know, manually place the items in the grid, and you should be good. So now you cool? Now you're cool! Nice! All right, so now let's test the provider, right? Which should be able to provide 204,000 R for tick. So I'll fix this off camera if it's broken. Well, hey, that one worked very well. All right, so let's take a look. So we've got an induction provider. We've got some induction casings. We've got some induction ports. I'm probably going to need more casings, depending on how much. So the size of this thing can be a rectangular prism of any shape up to 18 by 18 by 18, I think. So let's figure out where you're going to live, Buster. I'm thinking like right in the center of this floor. Can we make you like a 3 by 3? Would that be like impossibly stupid to do? How do we feel about that plan? Not lovely. Not lovely. All right, I changed my mind. I do kind of want it here. So maybe if anybody wants to submit a building, that would be cool. So how about, how do I want to do this? I want the energy to come out of here, and I want it to go into here, right? So you're going to be the roof, right? We're going to put the induction cell here. We're going to put the provider here, right? And this could be bigger, remember, right? But what I think I'm going to do is have this, then this, then this, then that. Okay. Now, do you need to exist anymore? I feel like the answer is no. You definitely don't need to exist anymore. Okay. What else do you guys got going on down here? Can we get some conduiting, please? Because it's time to clean up this mess a little bit. We're going to try and de-dire wire the place. I mean, try is a strong word. We're going to do our darndest. Okay, so you can go away, you can go away, you can go away. And you know what? You too. And you know what? You too. All right, and then, so you on the left, what are you doing? You are input on the left for some reason. Really? That might be this left. Is that the left of that cube? It's kind of hard to tell with these cubes, but I think the left here is the input there. And then it's also the back is the input, apparently. Is this a facade? No. Where else are you getting power from? So if I put we want the front to be input, I think. Because what we're going to have you be if you're formed correctly, which you should be. Oh, there we are. I'm like, why didn't you? Hey, there we go. Red particle effects. Yay! Right. So statistics. Capable of transferring 204,000 RF a tick. Way more than the 25,000 that these are capable of, right? And an internal buffer of 3.2 billion, right? So that all makes sense to me. So what I'm going to have is we're going to change it up so that the power coming into the base is going to go, instead of going up here, right? Y'all are going to go, and this is going to get super dire wiry. And I'm warning you now that that's going to happen. Can I control, like, this guy's, like, how he's allowed to input and output? I guess we'll just figure it out. Right? Super dire wiry, and for that I apologize. But this is kind of a temporary setup until we get nuclear craft and a few other things going on. No, not you. And we'll just have to see if this works out for us. So in theory, what should be working here is you should be getting power now. Yes, we're generating power, 23,000 RF a tick, which jives with the fact that we have about 4 machines generating 6,000 RF a tick. So the 24,000 that we're getting, that jives, right? So that's all good. So that's step 1 of getting a large power buffer. This should hold 3.2 million, which, look how fast that's filling up, right? 2 billion ain't going to be that long to fill up. See, look, we've already produced 60 million RF. Nice. Now, how are you doing? You're losing RF, right? Because we're no longer pumping into here. The only source of power that you're getting is this guy, right? So that's a thing. So what I'm thinking we do is that. Now, are you net lossing power? So your output's 0, and you're not getting nothing, right? So how do I make you output? Stuff and things. You. Energy. Aha! Toggle mode to output. Now you outputting 25,000 RF a tick on the dot, because that's how much we're capable of transferring in that conduit. This guy's going to fill back up, right? And then once he's full, we should see what our actual net gain on power looks like. Okay? So that guy should fill up pretty quickly. You know, if I wanted to. Could get the good conduit for this. Cool. All right. So now we have an input of 23 and an output of 3. So that means net gain of 20,000 RF a tick. Not bad, right? So that shouldn't take too long, right? Because that's 20,000. So that's 400,000 RF a second. Okay. So to store up 2 billion, so not terrible, but according to my math, we're looking at about an hour to fill this guy up. Is that right? 83 minutes? If my rough math is correct and we stay at around 20,000 RF a tick gain for that hour. So that's cool, right? I'm all right with that. Because here's what we're going to do. We're going to work towards Ender.io machines now. So the plan will be this. We're going to let this fill. And while this is filling, we're going to do the Ender.io chapter, right? So we haven't produced more power, but now we have more power storage. And if we want to, we can expand that capacitor to hold even more RF, which would be cool, right? But at the very least, we now have a large enough power reserve that once this is full, it shouldn't be too bad of a strain on us to charge that draconium. So now that we know we're going to be capable of charging it, next episode, I'll make the pedestal thing that we need with the carpenter and the liquefacted coal. And then we'll also start working on Ender.io so that we have all the machines we need for making it. Then we'll get flux networks. Then we'll get into nuclear craft. Then we'll have lots of power gen. Then we'll probably get into draconic. Deal? Oh, and also remember, to get into draconic, we also need to get into extreme reactors, right? There's no extreme reactors chapter, but nuclear craft and industrial craft gain access to the mod. Cyanite, plutonium, ludicrite, andesite, and benoit will all be needed for the end game. So the thing is that you got to do nuclear craft to get to extreme reactors, and you got to do extreme reactors to get the resources that are needed to do some end game stuff, right? Because cyanite and plutonium, those things come from extreme reactors, and they're side effects, or they're the excess junk that gets created when you produce stuff. So we can get rid of Thing, right? We're done with him, right? So that's that, right? So we'll wrap up the episode here. Everybody's behaving, right? You're producing copious amounts, right? And you are literally on the border of the limit of these energy conduits. But clearly, you're not hitting it. You're just close to it. Nice. All right, for now, Dalton, I sign off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Next episode, Carpenter with liquefacted coal and potentially starting Ender IO. And then we'll get into Flux Networks after we get a lot of stuff done. All right, guys, take it easy.